G'day folks, Tony again here for more Star Control 2. We have resurrected ourselves back at the last save game, dear viewers. We're going to head once more to Theta Illuminati, and considering how we went in some of the combat against the Spathi before with the current layout of ships that we have in our fleet, we are just going to zip our way over there without getting trapped in a conversation, because I don't want you to have to watch the same conversation again right now, and I kind of don't want to go through it myself again right now. Pardon me. So we're off to another star system. Let's see what is waiting for us here. Can't see any ships flying around at the moment, so it is going to be another exploration scanathon. We're going to try and harvest some more resources so that we can head back to Sol and also to Alpha Centauri to do some trading with the Melnorm of all of the biological material that we have been picking up. Speaking of which, will there be any here? Of course there won't. But we do have some halides to pick up. All right. Apologies, dear viewer, if I'm a little bit croaky at the moment. I do have a bit of a cold. So if there's some grumbling and mumbling, a little bit of a croaky voice or the occasional cough, forewarned is forearmed. So given the amount of material that we're collecting and how many different places we've been to, and the fact that I am recording these episodes a few days apart each, I'm not exactly sure what the composition of our cargo is, but we are tending to preference the more expensive materials as much as we can, or at the very least, we're not intentionally picking up. We're not intentionally picking up a ton of basic, inexpensive resources. So another green planet to check out here. These have tended to be fairly reasonable in the materials that they contain, so they're a relatively sure bet. But of course, we don't know exactly what each planet may contain, if it's going to be a planet that has some biologicals on it, or possibly an energy source, which we have yet to find. Energy sources, I'm assuming, are going to be more story, plot, and item-driven, or potentially places for us to pick up some extra fuel when we are a long way from Sol. We're not at that point yet, of course. So more delicious material there. So by this stage, this procedure has become fairly standard. The resource gathering phase of the game, perhaps by modern standards, being a little too protracted. But again, keep in mind the age of this game being some 2.5 decades. Ooh, a chondrite world. I don't even know what that means, but I do know that Class 7 tectonics are terrifying. But for the sake of interest, let's see if we can drop right on top of this and manage to pick it up just for funsies. My goodness, that is a lot of explosions. But we got 20 free radicals, and we only lost one person for it. I'm going to say that's not too bad a trade. So fun times there on Theta Illuminati, Planet 6. What else have we got here? We have another 3 planets to go, and we seem to be on a green bender at the moment. So why change? And a lovely little moon there for us as well. Let's go to the planet first, because it is closer. Just the amazing trivialization of travel here. Of course, traveling through space in any regard in the real world, very complex and requiring a great deal of technology, persistence, expertise, and I guess in some cases, luck. But we're managing it here with the mere pressing of some arrow keys. What's the moon going to have for us? Many things, please, many things. I'm feeling positive about this, everyone. A Sumerian world, guaranteed to be brimming with amazing. I mean, it looks interesting and different from some of the planets we've been usually seeing. Let's pop on down and see what these are. They don't look like the boring ones. Ammonia, delicious ammonia, and methanol. Everything that a growing human needs. Not really, but we've got to try and jazz it up somehow. A long drive. I do like the idea that we're just roaming across the surface of the entire planet in this little vessel. It must be moving at a fair rate of knots, considering the amount of time that's passing for us to traverse. Well, I guess in that case, an entire moon, but it's still not a trivial exercise. All right. So the Dank still has plenty of fuel left. We're just slightly left less than 50% of what we set out with. Some delicious blue nobles. No energy once again, and no biologicals either. So limited pew opportunities here so far, folks. Which I guess, given that we're getting lower and lower on crew, is not all that terrible a thing. It's going to be most unfortunate if we end up in combat after we have whittled all of our crew and our flagship down. We don't have as much opportunity then to be using our flagship as a tank. Although admittedly right now with the weapons that we have, it's not all that great a tank. Although, now that I think of it, to keep in mind, I think we can actually transfer crew from the flagship to the other vessels or vice versa. So if we're running low on people to head down to planets and crew these incredibly dangerous exploration vehicles, which realistically is where most people are dying at the moment, we can do that. Class 4 tectonics, I mean, why not? But also vice versa, if we want to restock some of our warships that have been whittled down but not destroyed in combat, we can do that by sending things from our flagship. Let's see if we can drive all the way across here without losing anyone. Well done, team. And we're getting very, very close to having 4 of our 5 cargo pods full of material. So let's hope that we can get that done in pretty short order. This episode, Crimson World, not terribly wonderful. We might just leave that one to its fate. And I believe this is the last thing for the system. Bring it on, a radioactive world. I love it. Especially when they're this tectonically friendly. So this is a good trade-off and a good haul. So we got radium, more radium, francium as well. And I think we're just going to top out. No, we've got just enough to grab one more. Yay! All right. So now that we have grabbed everything from the system, let's save the game. And also, presumably, thereby save ourselves an embarrassing repeat of material. Come on now. Excellent. And we're going to go to the star map. What else have we got there? We've been to that one. We've been to that one. We've been to this one here. So there's no real way other than manually to keep track of where exactly we've been and where we haven't. There is an awfully large red star here, and it is looking fairly attractive. So how about we head to Delta Illuminati? This is pushing us deeper into Spathi space, so presumably the likelihood and frequency of running across them is also going to be increased, and I don't know what's going to happen when we talk to the Spathi again. I don't know if we are in an infinite pit trap of the same conversation that we've already had. We may be about to find out. No, it looks like we've just managed to make it down into the system, but we are definitely going to end up having to talk to somebody when we come out of here. So, whoops, I thought that was a planet, and indeed it was a star. There's a very large gas giant up at the top there. So a red orbit trail for this one, and some of the other ones here being orange. I don't exactly know what that means. If I had remembered, I would have looked it up, but I haven't. Class 5 and Class 5, that's a bad time, and we're not going to have any part of that. Thank you very much. Sure. So pooey to you, Planet 4. That is not at all useful to us. Maybe some of the inner planets here going to sweeten the deal and offer us a little bit more to write home about. Come on now. Another Cimmerian world with some nice large deposits on it. This is looking a bit better. Just going to top out those cargo materials. Oh no, I don't like this. I don't like this. It's it's one of them nasty fire worlds. So we're not going to do that. We just lost an entire vehicle and all of our crew to that one. So that was a bad deal. I'm so grateful that there isn't an alien ship waiting to accost us when we exit Delta Illuminati. Of course, that's a joke, because there is, but I don't need to tell you that because you're watching closely. All right. Nope, that's a bad deal. All right, we have a number of planets here so far that have been quite nasty. I'm wondering if... does the color of the orbit trail imply the difficulty of the planet that you're looking at? That's 3 and 3. That might actually have something to do with it. Perhaps the color of the orbit trail is an indicator of difficulty. That is looking fairly likely, isn't it? We're going to confirm this theory. So maybe the green ones... yeah, that's 3 and 3 again. Interesting. All right, so let's... I'm going to zip out a little bit here. Delta Illuminati might be somewhere that maybe we will come back to at some point. Let's fly up here to this red one again and have a look at it. Oops. That really wasn't what I had in mind. Let's see if this one is just terrifying. Got a nice, shiny golden moon here. That looks very appealing, so I'm hopeful. What have we got here? A treasure world. Okay, so that's only Class 2 and Class 1, so that's not nasty like the other ones were, but there are some biologicals on it. Maybe they're just terrifying and difficult. Let me awkwardly position my hands on the keyboard and we'll find out how fast are these things moving and how nasty are they. Okay, we have some fire trails here on the world. We've got some... whoa, look out. We've got some bouncy ball looking things here that are mighty hard to shoot, as it turns out. Although this turning arc here certainly isn't helping us. Whoa, look out. Hello. Ah, delicious. One more. Ah, excellent work. So let's see if we can zip around and grab these other bits from this treasure world. I'm very happy that we found it. Palladium, and that's a full load. So back up we go, and then down again. This is going to be mighty helpful for our monetary haul when we surely successfully and without any drama make it back to Earth in one piece with our crew of 34 on this vessel. Okay, there was one planet that we didn't go to, and given that we just found a treasure world which is all funky and cool, I'm certainly not going to leave here without at least visiting this inner planet and finding out what it holds in store for us. I'm going to cross all my fingers and all my toes. And you, dear viewers, can cross the appendages of your choice. I'm assuming that everyone watching is from planet Earth, but I can't actually prove it. Class 8 weather, that's terrifying, and we're not going to do it. We are, however, going to save the game, which is becoming an increasingly tedious procedure as we scroll all the way downwards. Good times. Let's just have a real quick look at our roster here in terms of being able to assign things. We have 8, 18, 1, 8, and 14. We might assign some more crew to these ships just so that our warships have some more material. And I guess because we've done that, I should probably save the game again. If I'd thought about that beforehand, clearly I would have done it. But at least now we just get to double tap that enter key and I don't have to show how poor I am at typing and talking at the same time. All right. So we're going to go to our star map. We're going to select Alpha Illuminati. We are going to see how far the autopilot takes us before we are sucked into a conversation with what I assume is going to be a Spathi ship. And we may actually end up in a very similar conversation to last time. And if that's the case, then I will probably cut it for your benefit. So here we have it. It is indeed some Spathi. Let's find out what's happening. Okay, dear viewers, there was an escape from the conversation where we could avoid... Ooh, that looks like a Melnorm ship. Where we could avoid having to fight the Spathi. I dug too far down the Yorl Jerks path of conversation last time. But this time, much better off. All right, what a coincidence. I was just talking about you with a Kiel Verezi captain. He, she, they expressed great interest in your explorations and struggles against the Ur-Quan. But, like all Verezi, I'm afraid he, she, they were hesitant to introduce themselves for fear of... well, frightening you. In any event, it is our pleasure to meet you once again. Your present balance is 48 credits. Now, what can we do for you today? So it appears, dear viewers, that the large red stars that are around on the map, much like Alpha Centauri, would appear to be places that we can trade with the Melnorm. So let's sell some things to them and increase our credit balance. I have some data on alien life forms. The 158 units of biological data we downloaded from your ship earn you 316 credits. Oh, yes. Your present balance is 364 credits. That is really excellent. Let's make some purchases. What trade items would you like to buy today? Well, look, we don't need fuel because we can get back to where we're going. I think firstly we're going to invest in some new technology. The technology we are now offering includes plans for building blaster weapons twice as powerful as your ion bolt guns. I would like to buy the technology you described. Please remember that these weapons consume energy from your combat batteries. Faster than your familiar iron bolt guns. You may wish to compensate for this by building additional dynamo modules for your flagship. Indeed I do. Your present balance is 214 credits. The technology we are now offering includes specifications for constructing modifications to your planet landers, which will double their speed. Oh my goodness. I want that thing. Give it to me right now. Ah yes, speed. An excellent choice for the relentless hunter and craven coward as well. You're not wrong about that. These modifications are simple enough to be put in place immediately. Your landers should be properly equipped in no time. I like it. Your present balance is 64 credits. The technology we are now offering includes details on how to add point defense laser defense systems to your flagship. I like it. I would like to buy that, but I'm assuming I don't have enough credits. Okay, so we only got 64. We need 150. But that's okay. We can come back for some soon. But let's just have a quick look and see if we can buy some information. Good, I wish to sell information. I think that some useful data on alien races is going to be handy. Okay, 75 credits and we don't have enough. So that will do us for now. What else would you like to buy? Well, I'd like to buy all things, please, but I don't think that I can. So I'm done buying for now. Very well, then. Goodbye, Trademaster. Talk to you again soon. It's been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. It's been a pleasure dealing with you also. All right, so we've done a big spend. So now might be an appropriate time for us to save the game again. I'm sure you're enjoying watching me do this. All right. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to harvest more things from these planets, and I would assume, given the size of this particular solar system, that when we have grabbed all the things, we're going to have a full batch of stuff to take all the way back to Earth. A metal world, I like it. That certainly has an awful lot of stuff on it, but it also has class 7 weather, which is not great, but let's find out just how not great it is by zipping down real fast to the surface, and maybe, just maybe, I'll try and get right on top of the thing that we want to land on here. Oh, this control is way too sensitive and is not letting me do the thing. How close are we going to land? Not close enough, and that is nuts, and we're not going to do it. So clearly this is a planet to come back to at a later stage when we have any chance whatsoever of collecting anything. So planet 1, no dice. But surely one of these others will be less terrifying. Can we zip in here without the Melnorm ship accosting us? I don't know. I think we might be all right. If I can actually control this thing properly, we will be fine. All right. Show me what you got, Blue. I mean, that's not unimpressive. So it would also seem that these planets where the Melnorm are hanging out, and these big red planets, the big red stars, have, whoa, no, thank you, have a wealth of resources for us to gather if we have the actual hardware to gather it. And clearly, at this exact point in time, we don't have good enough. Oh no, that's okay. So this is a place to come back to at a later time. I've learned my lesson. We haven't swung by Epsilon Illuminati yet, so let's go there as we begin our return journey back towards Sol. And this giant red star is very distinctive on the star map, so it will be easy to remember that we can return to it to harvest all of those goodies. Looks like some more Spathi just cruising through hyperspace, heading in our general direction. But now we've got, ooh, that is a bright yellow gas giant. I don't know if that means anything to us in the way that treasure worlds tend to be bright and yellow, but I don't think we ever actually land on a gas giant. Okay, 2 and 2, a scattering of not terribly goods, so that is a no-go. So, dear viewers, you may be aware, depending on how much you pay attention to game development news, that there's more than one Star Control sequel in the works, and there is a fair amount of legal action occurring around this particular franchise. Not necessarily interested in commenting on that on any side of the argument, but rest assured that I am very curious to see what kind of game this franchise would lend itself to here in the year 2018, considering how different games are now from what they used to be, with all of the amazing and very much appreciated diversity that they contain. At some point, hopefully, we are going to see a worthwhile sequel. There was a Star Control 3, and it was not great. But seeing a series like this return to market, now living in an era where things like Mass Effect have happened, yes, I am very eager to see what that turns out to be like. I'm assuming there's going to be nothing on here, even though the planet is a slightly unusual color. It doesn't look like anything happening at all there. And after the fiasco at the end of last episode, I'm feeling overly cautious about saving the game, so I'm going to do it again. And we're going to keep swinging on our long arc back towards Earth because it's taking us longer to fill up this last cargo container than I had assumed. So we're going to zip all the way out here to what is that? Gamma Raynet. That sounds like an amusing name. I like it. Let's head there and find out what is over yonder hill. So our crew number's getting quite low on our flagship, and our fuel getting lower, but we are heading in the right direction to return to our home world. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Is the joke getting old yet? Oh, thank heavens we're here. This should be nice and straightforward. That looks like a very pretty, very appealing golden planet. We might save that for last. So we've got a blue orbit here. Presumably this is going to be an easier deal. If our assumption is correct, well, our Class 1 tectonics certainly lends further credence to our theory. And some exotics, always a welcome collection. Oh boy, that's fast and possibly going to make it even more difficult to maneuver ourselves. All right. So something the Melnorm said there about dynamo units in terms of recharging the batteries on our flagship. I think we may be investing in some of those pretty soon, because I think we only have one at the moment, and we do have 2 lasers, and that might be part of the reason why our flagship didn't fare terribly well. Oh, it's a urea world, not a treasure world. I've been fooled. So yeah, the flagship can become fairly formidable when you do have enough material on it. I think there are 2 stars right next to each other. There's Alpha Raynet and there's Beta Raynet. How much fuel to get back to Sol from here? That's going to take 11.8. We have 25. So I'm assuming from there is also going to be about 11. If we lose another 2.7, then we're still good. So let's head on over there. And we should maybe have enough to do a full scout of this first system. Maybe of the Beta one as well, but landing on the planets consumes a tiny little bit of fuel each time. So we're going to have to play this by ear. Well, this planet is fairly small and straightforward. Sorry, the system is fairly small and straightforward. So I think it might be achievable. Actually, considering that there's only one here, let's roll with it now. It's not looking terribly promising, but I would like to be wrong. An opalescent world. It's got a nice spatter and colours on it. That seems very fair to me. No biologicals. And with our super fast landing craft now, it should take a lot less time for us to collect things if I can control this properly. Turning arc is very different. Going to be doing a lot of long loops to pick things up here, so this is probably a shorter way through. There we go. Yum, delicious. Possibly we're going to be able to get all of these things all in the one trip. No, not quite. And losing a few crew there as well. Whoops. Good times. Yum, delicious. I like it. Don't change a thing. And that cargo filling up. So that's only one planet there. We will set course for Beta Raynet. And we will stick our head through the Kuiper Belt curtain and find out what the system contains And it's another single planet. Well, look, this is going to be a much more satisfying conclusion to an episode if we are homeward bound by the end of it. So let's commit to one more planetary harvest, possibly, even if it makes the episode a little longer. That doesn't look like much of anything, does it? So I think that we're going to set course for home. Like so, 11.9 fuel, we should be fine. And it looks like it's Valentine's Day of the year 2156, and that is where we're going to leave it for this part of the Let's Play. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please give the episode a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel if you would like to be notified when other episodes are released. And please tell a friend if you think they might enjoy this, and come back again soon for more Star Control 2.